Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. But the Edomites have set up a sick, wicked, demonic, degenerate, bugged out society. Let me kind of hit this a little bit. And this guy, um, is throwing at the J people, which, if you didn't know this, the Rothschild family is, I don't want to say too much because they may flag the video, but the Rothschild claims to be J people, right? They claim to be the real Israelites, but they really are Edomites. And what they've done with the banking system, they've took control of all the currency of, pretty much all the currencies of the world with fiat currency. And the Babylon the Great is the facilitator of the military arm of the Edomite power structure. And what they have done is created a fictitious system that's backed by nothing but a promissory note. And this is what people are enchanted and under this witchcraft of. So what they have done is took over all facets of society, the education system, the medical system, so on and so forth. And what they've done is pushed a NWO, right? Because they want one system, right, that's gonna lead up to the MOTB, so they can have complete control of everybody, you know what I'm saying, that's participating in their system. So this is guy Aaron Russo, and he's gonna go into we're gonna go into the mind of Esau Edom, the wicked, how they think, how they formulate these plans, how they put these plans into action to to get the people under their spell with their witchcraft and the media and blah blah blah, right? So this guy Aaron Russo going into feminism. Feminism was created to destroy the man and woman dynamic, and it was especially targeted to you so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. It was very targeted towards you, and that's why you got all this dysfunctionality. They set this system up to be this way. This is all a wicked plan, a wicked invention, among many others that they have done. Let's go here real quick. Now I'm gonna get back into that video. There's a lot of heavy witchcraft that's been done to, the people in the world, and especially you Israelites. They have totally messed your whole mind up with their pseudo education, and they have miseducated you on everything in this world. It says Isaiah 29:15. It says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh by Yahweh. And that's why you got this phrase Illuminati. That's not by a coincidence, right? And their works in the Illuminati, the point I want to make is a secret society. Secret, right? They seek deep to hide their counsel, their plans, their plots, and these schemes. They got these think tanks that create ways to destroy you so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. And their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us? So whoever to figure out our schemes and what we've done, what we continuously do, who can figure this out? Because the average American is oblivious to this information because they under the construct, they under this heavy witchcraft or this system. It says, and who knoweth us? So we're able to go into this devil mind, right, and tell you what he's doing, what he has done, what the future plans is, what they're gonna do. And we vex these devils out. Like they vex us, we vex them out because we in the way of their plans, to a certain degree. But they gotta do this to fulfill prophecy. But let me play this video. This is guy Aaron Russo. Give me 1 second.
One of the things they told me was that he grew up with religion at the house one night. One of the things they told me was that he grew up with religion at the house one night, and we were talking, and he started laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I'm pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote. And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that.
You heard that? They funded it. What does that mean? They put the money up so they can push these different enchantments. This was all funded by the wicked Esau, Edom, starting at the Amalekites. So this proof right here, we not making this not a conspiracy theory. Every movement for the most, they have funded it. They set it up. They got it pushed through the media, right? And with the alphabet bars and so on and so forth. This is all they construct of their power, how they indoctrinate the minds of the masses without them knowing it. This is play this. I'm back it up one more time.
Laughs that you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib, And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? So there were two primary reasons. And one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before women's lib. And the second reason was now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. Which breaks up the family.
You heard that? Indoctrinate them on how to think. This is, man, this wild here. So let's go back here. So they plans and plots are being exposed, that they tongues will fall upon themselves. You will have people like whistleblowers that would expose their plans to the people that eyes were open to the, receptive to the information. Read this again. It says Isaiah 29:15, and he was oblivious. And they go to show you he was oblivious to the level of wickedness that that the Rockefeller, was telling him. He was just naive. That's the typical sheeple, of these people in the world. They think they don't get it. They really don't understand. Isaiah 29:15 again. It says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. You ask the average person, this Babylonian, what was feminism all about, women liberation, they give you the answer, a generic answer that they've been taught to say. Like he said, like the guy Aaron Russo said. It says, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? So who able to figure out our plots and schemes? We're able to figure it out. Let's go to this word feminism. And actually, when you break down the root of the word feminism, a lot of people don't really understand what the word properly means. They've turned the word feminism to be feminine is to be really submissive woman, you know what I'm saying, to be tender, delicate. But they flipped the definition of the word feminism to make it what they got today. Give me 1 second. All right, so when you go into the online etymology of the word feminine, that's how you get the word feminism, right? It says a female sex. It says feminine qualities, effeminate, right? So a woman that's delicate, soft, you know what I'm saying? That's not aggressive like these women, not opinionated, not, you know what I'm saying, militant as you see these women today. And I've saw videos of women, especially the Jake woman, step to men as they are men, because the women under a demonic vibration with this feminism. When you go into the revised definition of what this means, feminism right at the top. And they funded this. They set this up to break the families up, to indoctrinate the kids and tax the women as well. And also it was more to it. They turned the women completely out. That's why most women in this society are feminists. It says feminism is a diverse movement and ideology centered on achieving political, economic, personal, and social equality of all genders. The Lord didn't set that up to be this way. Let me prove that. He ain't want no woman equal to no man. And that's why you see these women, these entitlement, these very militant women that will fight men. They fight men. They, you know what I'm saying, don't know how to be submissive, don't know how to be quiet. That's why you sisters that's, in the right spirit, the Lord would bless you later on down the road, It says 1 Corinthians 11:3. It says, but I would have you, and most women don't believe in the Bible. They'll say they spiritual, all that BS, right? Madness. They'll say they spiritual, but what they talking about? Women go through their emotions. That's why if you're a sister in the truth, you got to abide by these scriptures. It ain't about your emotions. 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you to know that the head of every man is a Mashiach. So we got a head, right? The Messiah, and he would be a so-called black man, not the Edomite that they got plastered all over the world. That's witchcraft. In the head of, it says in the head of the woman, the man. So it's giving you the order. The Edomites did something totally opposite. They say the man and the woman are equal, but the Most High got something different. It says the head, I'm going to go into this word head, of the woman is the man. So the man rules over the woman. It says in the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. It's showing you that they not to even, this cuts that Trinity doctrine. Because if they say, this madness, Yahweh, it's Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, it's a chain of command, right? So the head of Hamashiach, or the Messiah, is Yahweh. So if they the same person, how that's going? It's crazy, man. Let's go to this word head, and it's straight to the point. It ain't no confusion. Either you're gonna get in line or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no gray area with this, man. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes it could be harsh, but it's the truth. Let's go to this word, the head, and I'm just gonna get straight to the point. It says anything supreme, chief. It says master, Lord. It says of a husband in relation to his wife. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it goes, right? The head, the chief, the man in charge. You know what I'm saying? A shot caller, however you want to say it. But with this feminism, it has turned everything upside down. And these, the Edomites, they funded this so they can push this demonic stuff on the women's minds. And most women in today's age are feminists. I'm telling you what it is, man. Let's go here. So these are the workers of iniquity. They plot and scheme and how to keep our people in sin and keep our people completely disconnected from their power. It says Exodus, and these the Amalekites. The Amalekites is the head, the J people, is who head this operation to destroy Jake, to keep them in spiritual confusion, to keep them going against the Lord. Like most of our people don't even know the Lord's name. So how can they know him? If you don't know his name, you can't know him. Other Messiah. Exodus 17 and 16. It says, for he said, because Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, have sworn that he, Salakia, have sworn and that Yahweh will have war with Amalek, the Amalekites, the J people. They renamed themselves, which you see today, but they're Amalekites. They the chief tribe of the nation of Edom. It says, I will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So that's a perpetual thing until the Israelites get into power. And these are the main contributors to keep Jake lost, confused, and entrapped and entrenched in sin, man, which is the transgression of the law. Let's go here. Psalms 5 and 5. It says, the foolish said, shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. I thought the Lord love everybody. So you've been taught this Bible all wrong. They taught you everything opposite of what the truth is. And that's layers and layers of confusion on our people. You know what I'm saying? But going back into this heavy feminism demon, man, that's a real demon, man. So they created this to destabilize the family. So I can go on and on. I can go to all these other programs that they did. Like no man can be in the household if the woman is getting any kind of federal assistance. Why? So the children can be molded, brainwashed, indoctrinated, and they can go, going back into the system in prison. It's crazy, man. All right, hopefully this lesson has been edifying. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak, Kodash. Shalom.